Hey, everybody, welcome to Personal Mastery Training Podcast. If this is your first time listening to me, I do two podcasts. One is a strategy session. This is where I talk about tips and strategies to master your life, master your inner game. Because most times, what you'll notice in life, it's when you really think about it, the enemy is not ever really outside of ourselves because they're busy worrying about their inner self as well. The real enemy is between our ears, the 3-pound mass that we did not get an instruction manual to. And we have to learn it along the way. We have to go through the challenges. We have to go through everything in life to finally get there. But if you're just getting through it, you will repeat it over and over again. The difference is if you're getting from it, you will learn to master the challenge and rise. The second one I do is a masterclass. That's where I interview thought leaders, authors, influencers who have walked the path. They're in the arena. They're not just talking about it, they're being about it. And I get them on here and we chop it up because I do believe success leaves clues. So welcome. This is what this podcast is about. All right, today it's a strategy session. This one I'm going to call today, Your Thoughts Come with a Cost. All right, here's what I'm talking about. It's been said that you are what you think about all day long. English philosopher James Allen wrote, as a man thinks, so he is. Woman thinks, so she is. As she or he continues to think, so she or he remains. Stoic philosopher the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, he says a man's life, a woman's life, is what their thoughts make of it. Think about that. Right? Then we have poet, philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. A man, woman, is what he or she thinks all day long. Then we also have so many people have talked about this. Earl Nightingale, another one. He said, we become what we think about. And Mark Twain wrote, life consists mainly of storms of thoughts that's forever flowing through one's head. So you go back since a recorded time when we started to leave these tips and clues on paper, on walls and tablets, and it's been recorded that our thoughts are the thing that are affecting us. And this is what mastery is all about, is controlling those thoughts so you choose which ones go through your head on a daily basis because they come with a cost. See, the average human rarely thinks about the cost of what they're thinking. They just think. Thinking is running a bunch of neurons to your head daily and let it flow. No, you have to filter because those thoughts come at a cost. There's an immediate connection to every thought, immediate, instantaneous, to your nervous system, both the voluntary nervous system and the involuntary ones, the sympathetic, the autonomic nervous system that controls, I would say, a large percent. I'm not even going to throw a number out, but I'm thinking 80% of your inner workings, because you've never thought about how your heart beat. You never thought about how many times it should beat, how many times you should breathe, how you should breathe, your sweat glands, your pupil dilation. You've never thought about those things. That's all driven by the autonomic nervous system. And those are affected by our thoughts instantaneously. Once you think a thought, there's an immediate reaction to the human body. And that reaction could be in your sweat glands, your guts, your hormones, your immune system, because there's a whole side of thought, a science that says psychoneuroimmunology, how your psychology affects your immune system. That's how quick the thoughts are. And that's for a reason. It's a protective mechanism. It's a protective mechanism to your blushing. It's a reaction to a situation that you found awkward, that you found threatening. The body reacts. When the room's too hot, we sweat automatically without saying, let's sweat. If it's too cold, we shiver to bring the heat up. So there's always a reaction for an input at the end of the day. The immediate reaction is necessary because it's protected. It's a function of the nervous system. I now believe, after 30 years of working with people, that the meat suit, this thing we travel around in this experience, its only job Take away the emotions of your body, the human body. I love my body, me, me, me. Take away and look at it as an object. Its only job is to take your 5, 6, 7, whatever senses we have, and convert those senses into meaning. The outside world is energetic. Lights are energy. We've all heard it. Everything's energy. Well, the senses transduces that energy into meaning for the body to make a move. And when it makes a move based on survival. Whether we need to eat now, whether it be most times, if you notice, when it's late and when we're not even hungry, but the body, there's a signal saying eat now. And it goes beyond your logical mind and goes to the illogical, the unconscious mind. Now you're eating. So this is the main reason why we want to remember, count the cost. Count the cost of that thought, that consistent thought. Those momentary ones that slip by every so often, the cost is low. They slip by, they're gone. But count the cost of your consistent thought. And this is one of the reasons that I wrote in my book, Journey to Personal Greatness, Mind, Body, and Soul, A Blueprint for Life Balance and Self-Mastery. In that book, I mentioned that we are time travelers. It's so very rare that the human being stays into the present moment. If you catch yourself, you'll either be wandering into the future or into the past. It's rare to be present today. So that is the goal for us in this group. We're attempting to move towards mastery. The goal is to stay as present as possible. Because here's what happens that I wrote in my book. When you go in the past, typically, the average human, unless you're above average, the average human is feeling guilt and shame. Because we're going back typically and ruminating over things we either did wrong or could have done better or not enough of, or so on and so on. So when we go back, we're mostly looking at the things we didn't do right. Because it's rare to meet that human who goes back and fantasize consistently about the best days of their lives and how that build on them into the future. And that's very rare. Due to our protective mechanism, we go back and think about things that would harm us and remember them and bring them back, especially if we perceive them as being filled with shame and guilt. We tend to go back and ruminate on those things. Like I said, I've really met that human who is always positive and not go back and reflect. Now, when you travel into the future, that's where we build fear and anxiety because it's the unknown. We don't know what's coming. We don't know how this movie ends. So we tend to have more fear and anxiety into the future. See, when you stay present, really be mindful of what's happening right now. I'm safe. I'm listening to a podcast. How great is that? Technology, I get to get all this information right at my fingertips, right in my ears. We had to go and search walls and tablets and, we didn't have books even just going back decades ago. Getting this information would have to be going to a library and carrying heavy books. And so if you think about right now, never worrying about what's coming, worry what's coming. Be prepared. I'm not saying to put your head in the sand, but be prepared for what's coming, but don't worry about what's coming. I find it serves no real good for us to worry about what's coming. It's futile. It drains your energy. But what we can do in this present moment is get ready, prepared to mitigate or even prevent what's coming. See, in this present moment, that's where all the action's happening. In this present moment, all the guilt I'm feeling, the shame I'm feeling in the past, I can call someone, I can forgive someone, I can do something about it now. Can't do anything about it in the past. It's already been done. The future isn't here yet. This is the best time. So it comes at a cost. Your thoughts comes at a cost. Don't you believe you can think that thought for an instant or ruminate, and it doesn't come at a cost. So what are we going to do about it? It comes at a cost. I think I got my point across now. I think we can all agree. Here's what we start to do. Start to become mindful of your consistent thoughts. This is why I love journaling. Because if I keep thinking about that thought, about the loss, about the shame, about the guilt, that I look at it It may not even be that way, but the way I'm looking at it, because it's all perception, and we tend to lean to that side of what we didn't do right. We had 10 wins, and we always think about the one we didn't do right. I want to journal on that. What about the 10? Did you write those down? Did you document the 10 wins? Because if you didn't, human nature will go to the one loss. So get your journal out. I want you to document daily. Start to become mindful of your consistent thoughts and where they came from. Are they real? Poke some holes in this thing. See if there's any holes in it. Look behind the curtain. Look under the bed. Is the boogeyman real? So, what are you going to do with your thoughts? Think about them. I want you to pay. The quality of them is the key too. Start to become mindful of the effects and how they feel. The other part I want you to do is to pay attention to how it feels in your body. Where does it go? In your guts? Do you feel in your guts? Do you start to ruminate? Do you feel tightened shoulders? Do you feel in your lower back? Where are you placing those thoughts? Where are they coming from? Where are they tied to? What effect are they having on you? So count the cost of what the thoughts you choose to entertain, both the momentary ones. Instantly, I love using myself as an experiment. In my own head, I call everything the lab. In my own head, like right now, you're in a lab for me. We're in the lab learning this, and I want you to take it away and put it in your journal. But we're in the lab right now. I want you to start to pay attention, because I do this to myself. What are those thoughts doing to me? Where are they going? How are they making me feel? And I want you to start to do, once you know that, you can do something about it, right? Because they all come at a cost. No thought comes into your head rent-free. It comes at a cost, right? Don't drink the poison wishing someone else would die. It doesn't work, hasn't worked, will not work. So you stop drinking that poison. Clean it up. Capture it. See where it's coming from. And start to do something about it. Stop making mountains out of molehills. Practice being present right now, today. And the way you can do that, actually, here's a tip. Great way to do it. Easy way. I've been doing a lot of work on this lately. Breathing. The power of breath. Taking a deep breath. You ever notice that when you come out of when you wander away somewhere and you come back to reality, you kind of breathe. You take a deep breath. That's because you became present again. So I want you to start to breathe. I want you to start to journal. I want you to start to be mindful of your thoughts and the quality and the cost of those thoughts. All right. So that is your strategy session. I can lead you to water, but you got to be able to drink. So I want you to take this away, journal on this. It's powerful. This is the stuff of mastery. Mastery doesn't cost a lot, but it costs though is you taking action on the information I share with you. And then you got to put in those 10,000 hours because it took you that long to get to a pattern you don't like. We'll do the work to get rid of that pattern. All right. Okay. So that's it. That's your strategy session for today. If you know someone who could use this information, let's build this community of people who believe in taking the time to step off the treadmill to master you. We did not get that user's manual for this beautiful 3-pound mass. The most amazing creation ever. So let's go to work. All right. Until next time, you know why I do what I do. I do what I do because I want me to be relentless about our pursuit for personal mastery, personal greatness. If I can help you out, let me know. More courses coming soon. All right, everybody. Peace and love.